Hey guys, and welcome back to Opulence. For this video, we will meet the world's youngest billionaires. But before anything else, please leave a like on the video. Also, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and click the notification bell down below so you won't miss our videos. Without any further ado, let's hop on right to the video.
I love the chase and the hunt, and I set the pace when I'm running. I always take what I want and I always give it 100. Don't need a bank, no I'm funded. Play the game like it's nothing. I'm always thankful for something. Don't take for granted, stay humble. Now wait.
Number 10. Alexandra Andersen, $1.1 billion. Alexandra Andersen is the younger daughter of Norwegian industrialist Johan H. Andersen. He retired and left his third investment holding to Alexandra and her sister KATHARINA. The holding has a substantial investment portfolio in both private and public Norwegian companies, as well as over 70,000 acres of land. Alexandra, on the other hand, is not one to live in the shadow of her father. She's an accomplished horseback rider who has received numerous awards in horse dressage competitions. Because of her father's fortune, Alexandra was able to concentrate on breeding noble creatures while also exploring her adventurous side. The Norwegian 28-year-old had become a billionaire at the age of 19. And she is not one to waste money. She drives a used car and appreciates the money her father earns. Number 9. HENRIQUE DUBUGRAS, $1.5 billion. HENRIQUE DUBUGRAS, a co-founder and co-CEO of financial services company Brex, has one of the most compelling startup founder stories. He began coding at the age of 12 and founded his first fintech at the age of 16. 3 years later, he sold the company, relocated to Stanford, founded Brex, and joined the Y Combinator Winter 2017 cohort. DUBUGRAS co-founded Brex in 2017 to provide corporate credit cards to startups. Brex has evolved over the last 5 years to become a financial operating system for businesses of all sizes, combining credit cards, business cash accounts, new spend management, and bill pay software. More to come on this. Furthermore, he is currently worth $1.5 billion. Number 8. WANG ZELONG, $1.5 billion. Being a billionaire at the age of 25 is something that not everyone can achieve. It's even more incredible because you're in China. To cut the long story short, CNNC was entrusted to him. CNNC, Hua Yuan Titanium Dioxide, and LEHMAN Billions Group both produce titanium dioxide in China. It was estimated that this was worth $1.5 billion. CNNC is a major supplier of titanium dioxide, which is used in the production of pigments for coating plastic, ink, and other materials. ZELONG likes expensive cars and lavish apartments. Number 7. Ryan BRESLOW, $2 billion. Ryan BRESLOW, one of Miami's wealthiest residents and one of the world's youngest billionaires at the age of 28, sits cross-legged on a blue beanbag pillow in his modest 3-bedroom bungalow on the outskirts of Little Haiti. BRESLOW spends the majority of his time alone at home. He dances to house disco music on his backyard AstroTurf. He meditates among tall palm trees, white Buddha statues, and a humming air conditioner. And he runs Bolt, his $11 billion 700-employee fintech startup, whose mission is to provide millions of online shops and frictionless one-click checkout similar to Amazon, from a treadmill desk in his sunroom near the ceremonial drums. Now that Bolt's new CEO is in charge of the company's day-to-day operations, BRESLOW can concentrate on closing large deals. He is currently raising additional capital at a $14 billion valuation according to sources. He is indeed making more noise in addition to recruiting top coders. He has no plans to quiet down. Number 6. Kevin David Lehman, $2.1 billion. Kevin David Lehman is a third-generation German entrepreneur who inherited half of his father's vast Alexandra Andersen empire at the age of 19. After a year, the young German is the CEO of DM, a massive international drugstore chain. This enormous chain employs over 600 people and operates 3,700 stores across 12 countries. The company is worth around $12 billion. Although Kevin keeps his personal life private, rumors about how he spends his days circulate. Lehman is distinct from other teenagers in that he does not like to sleep in. Instead, he gets up around 5:30 a.m. every day. He also likes to read books, exercise, and most importantly, play soccer with his friends. After all, he's a German kid with a soccer family. Number 5. Austin Russell, $2.4 billion. Austin left Stanford University to pursue his dream, following in the footsteps of self-made billionaires such as Bill Gates and Mark Zuckerberg. Because of the success of his entrepreneurial endeavors, Austin is now the world's youngest self-made billionaire at the age of 26. Russell's current net worth as the founder and CEO of LEHMAN is around $2.4 billion. Many people believe the young billionaire is only 20 years old owing to his technological prowess and AI expertise, which enabled him to become not only the youngest billionaire, but also the richest. Russell now owns 1/3 of LEHMAN, a company with a market capitalization of more than $5 billion. The company and its founder are on the right track, as Toyota and Volvo rely heavily on their products to produce high-quality autonomous vehicles. Number 4. Katharina Andersen, $2.4 billion. The elder Andersen sister, heir to Johan H. Andersen's third holding, is not your typical billionaire. She lives a modest life despite owning 42.2% of one of Norway's largest companies. Even after her father signed over his vast fortune to her, she continued to live in her small cottage dorm room. She's obsessed with designer accessories, particularly high-end purses and shoes. She even declared herself a shoeaholic, a far superior addiction to Charlie Sheen's. She appears to have learned her lesson and has avoided trouble since. Number 3. GUSTAV MAGNAR, $3 billion. GUSTAV MAGNAR is yet another successful Norwegian businessman. Norway appears to have an uncanny ability to turn out young people into billionaires. Perhaps it's a result of the Cold Air and Viking ancestors. GUSTAV inherited his enormous fortune from his father. He's a major shareholder in SalMar ASA, the world's largest salmon farming company. GUSTAV's father, who's named Gustav, gave him half ownership of the billion-dollar company when he was 26 years old, making him instantly worth $3.2 billion. Witto's total value has now reached $5.2 billion, after the young entrepreneur amassed an additional $2 billion in just 3 years. Number 2. Gary Wang, $5.9 billion. Gary Wang co-founded FTX and is now its chief technology officer. Wang, an MIT graduate, spent time at Google building systems to aggregate prices across millions of flights, before co-founding FTX with fellow billionaire Sam Bankman-Fried in 2019. Because it was created by traders for traders, FTX is one of the most prominent exchanges for buying and selling crypto derivatives. In January 2022, Wang owned roughly 16% of the exchange, which raised $400 million at a $32 billion valuation, and roughly 18% of its US operations, which investors valued at $8 billion. Number 1. Pedro Franceschi, $12.3 billion. Pedro Franceschi knew that in order to achieve success in the tech industry, he would have to make major changes, including leaving Brazil. Pedro was jailbreaking iPhones while other kids were learning to ride a bike or playing sports. He began coding when he was 8 or 9 years old in order to learn how to control computers. The young programmer was able to jailbreak iPhones that were otherwise inoperable in his native Brazil thanks to tech books and Google. At the time, he was known as the Rio teenager who jailbroke iPhones. He began infringing on Apple's language patents after translating Siri from English to Portuguese, and his hobby did not last long. In 2017, he moved to Silicon Valley with his business partner, HENRIQUE DUBUGRAS, to launch Brex, an entrepreneur-focused corporate credit card company. After a few years, their startup has grown to become a $2.6 billion unicorn company. Last month, the San Francisco-based startup announced that it had raised $300 million in a funding round led by investment firms Green Oaks Capital and Technology Crossover Ventures, valuing it at $12.3 billion, a significant increase from its $7.4 billion valuation 9 months earlier. That's it for today. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on that notification bell so you never miss out on any future content we'll produce for you guys. We're signing off now, but we'll be sure to catch you all in the next one.